All
Feeling
right.
you feeling good?
I'm getting like anxious now. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know. I'm feeling like I don't know, like jittery. I think yeah, we'll say jittery. I think that's a good way to explain it.
What's up, everybody? Bad Gamer popping back in. How's it going? How you doing? How you mama? How you daddy? How them kids? How them wives? How them hubbies? How them fur babies? How is it that I met this young lady maybe like 3 weeks ago and already she's an adopted niece? I don't understand. Maybe you will by the time we are done talking to Bee Bry. What's up, girl? How you doing, young lady?
Hello. Hi, I'm doing fine like wine. How
Yeah,
are you?
I'm doing. Look, I'm excited to have you here. Seriously, it's only been like a few weeks, and already, like, I feel so welcomed in your community, and so loved, so seen. And I'm a noob when it comes to the games that we play that are in common. Um, but why don't you, before we get into a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to talk about, we're gonna let the dopamine and ADHD go. Tell people about you. Who are you?
Oh wow. Oh wow. Um I am probably the busiest of the bee breeze, hence the name. I feel like I do quite a bit. It's the ADHD. It shines through in what I do because I start doing one thing and I'm like, okay, yes, this is awesome. And I'm like, wait, what if I do this?
But what
So,
if? What if?
but what if? Exactly, what if? So I just kind of I pick something up and I take it and I run with it and that really is just me summed up in a lot. I do a little bit of everything. I love everything. I'm pretty enthusiastic about everything.
Yeah, your energy is fantastic. When I see you come, you show up on stream, and this is after a normally long day at work, and then also house stuff, and then you have a husband, right? And you have all of, but the energy that you have, it's amazing. Like, have you always been like that? Is it just you?
Pretty much. Growing up, I have a friend. She's actually one of my best friends, and she still calls me this, but she always calls me Bubbles. Because she's like, you're just so bubbly. And so she's my buttercup. Yep, Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, let's
And we watch
go.
like yeah, we watch like little clips of her. And even when Bubbles is angry, it's me. Because she's like, I'll show them. I can be hardcore. And I can't.
She's
I can't.
adorable.
I can't. It's like it's just perfect. Yeah. Yep.
Oh man. Okay. All right. So what? So you all people connect you to Bubbles. Are there any other like cartoon movie characters that people are like, oh my gosh, that's so you, Brie?
Oh wow. This could be a very big rabbit hole.
We're
My
here for it.
my yeah, my dad has always been obsessed with connecting me to Tweety Bird. Like
Okay.
everything my entire like growing up, he's like, "You're Tweety." So everything growing up that he ever made me, my name was Your Tweety.
Okay.
But that is his favorite to him.
Okay. But ex- how? Explain this. Explain Tweety Bird to me.
Honestly, I'm not even sure. The only way that like I know Tweety Bird is like a little bit of like the shows that she was in.
Yeah.
Um, like when I think of Tweety Bird, I'm thinking of the scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Eddie Valiant is like holding on to like this pole type thing, and he's about to fall from like the building,
Oh
and
yeah.
then Tweety just walks out, and she's just like moving the fingers, and she
Wait, this
goes,
little
"Uh
piggy with the
oh,
market.
yep, yep, uh oh, all out of piggies."
Okay,
I'm like,
now I see it. When you say that,
yeah.
Tweety Bird liked to play the innocent, liked to play the sweet, but
A
the
little
deep.
mischievous.
Oh yes.
A little mischievous.
Sylvester just he's being a cat. That's what he did.
Hmm.
He did. He's hungry. He wants to eat the bird. I get it. That's what cats do. But Tweety, oh, such an instigator. Okay. Okay.
I honestly think it's because my brothers and because I have two older brothers that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're just little pains in the butts and I love them, but my goodness, there was one day I remember this clear as day. I think I was like 4 years old and they
Okay.
were fighting over like the last like glass of chocolate milk and it was just sitting on the counter and they were sitting there like genuinely fighting. So I just walked up to the counter, I grabbed the glass of chocolate milk and I just walked away with it. Sat on the couch and was watching like Hannah Montana sipping on my chocolate milk. And my dad came home and he just high-fived me. It was perfect.
Oh, that's so good. Yes. Yes, your dad is spot freaking on. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep,
All right.
yep.
So when it comes to, because we both are very much Disney fans, um,
Mhm.
what Disney character do you associate yourself with most?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I've always seen myself as a Rapunzel person.
Okay,
I
I can see a
love
little Punzy.
Rapunzel.
Yeah.
I love Rapunzel. I'm actually very big into art, which isn't very like well known on my channel, but I
Oh,
do. I
really?
love art. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a huge art person. I love painting. I just don't have like as much time for it as much as I would love to have time for it. I need to figure out how to squeeze it in there somewhere. It's the ADHD brain again.
Yeah.
But I do. I love Rapunzel. I love Belle because I also love books. But again,
Yeah.
it's just something that I don't have time for anymore. um, I actually had this conversation with my husband before we got married when we first started dating, and I was like, okay, if you had to put me with a cartoon character like from
Yeah.
Disney, a Disney character, who would it be? And this is what kind of started my name. But he was like Von Schweetz.
Ooh,
And I
I
was like, okay.
love Vanellope.
Yeah, he was like, you're immediately Vanellope, and I was like, Vanellope, because I didn't expect him to say that. I was like, okay, expecting maybe like how my dad said like Tweety Bird or Bubbles or like, but when it came to Disney, I was honestly expecting like Rapunzel because he knew that I loved it,
Yeah.
or Tinkerbell or Alice because I've been compared to those as well, and he was like Vanellope. So for a while, my Twitch name was Von Schweetz for the longest time. And then I actually did a copyright check before I started streaming. I was like, is Von Schweetz copyrighted in any type of way? And it is. Not to Disney though.
Okay.
It is not. I mean, it's another type of film content that exists out there. And I was like, oh no. We brainstormed for a day and we are like, busy Bee Bry. We're busy Bee Bry. It's got
Oh,
alliteration. It
yes.
works.
I love great alliteration. Absolutely. So you said you said Rapunzel, and
Yes,
it paint.
Rapunzel.
What type of painting medium do you use? Do you use oils or acrylics or like what? How do you do your thing? How do you do the painting thing?
So honestly, it depends exactly what I'm painting because sometimes I have ideas and I feel like they're a little bit too intricate to just go straight in with a brush. So I'll sketch it out first and then paint it. Oils I love because you can still keep playing with them. They don't dry very quickly, but that's
Yeah,
another con about them is that they don't dry very quickly.
yeah.
Um, so
How
oils
long
aren't
how
really
long
my
does it
thing,
take
but they're
oils to
nice.
dry?
It depends on how much oil paint you have on that canvas because I've had a canvas that's literally taken 3 weeks to dry.
What?
Yeah, yeah. The quickest I've had an oil painting dry is about 2 to 3 days. But the longest weeks, three to 4 weeks is the longest I've
Wow.
had a oil
I am
painting dry
so
for.
glad I don't paint. I use uh I color. I'm a colorist. So I'm learning to draw a little bit more and a little bit better, but I'm a colorist. I understand color. I love color. So I use slightly wet mediums, so like alcohol markers, water-based markers, and then the dry mediums like not oil pastels. Well, some oil pastels, but chalk pastels, oil pastels, um, color pencils, crayons, that type of thing.
I love pastels. They're so touchy. But
Yes.
they're so vibrant and that's what I love about them is that they're just so vividly vibrant. It's just perfect.
Oh,
But I do prefer acrylic paint. But if I'm using like a a slightly wet, more of a dry. I do like using Sharpies because I do something called extreme mycopointillism. Some people know it as stippling. So instead of
Yes.
shading, yeah, instead of shading by actually like dragging your medium across the paper or canvas, you're actually like doing 1,000 little teeny tiny dots. So one of my very first I did with that type of effect was a giant Aubrey Hepburn like
Shut
side
up.
profile. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it because actually I have my portfolio from like kindergarten and up.
Okay.
So I have everything I've ever made.
So here, okay, okay. Um, I know you as a streamer. Most of the people listening might know you as a streamer. I need to know now, and normally we get into this at the end, but where can we find your art?
I actually don't post it anymore. I did
Lies
have
and
no,
deceptions.
no. I actually don't post it anymore. I did have a art Instagram and it didn't do very well. Like it just didn't do well. So I was just like, maybe it's just not for me to share my art. So
What
I
was
just
your
I
art
stopped.
Instagram, and is it still there so we can see at
I
least see
don't
some of the old ones?
I don't even know if it still exists. It was like Ocean Butterfly 1968 or something like that.
All right, we're gonna guys look up Ocean Butterfly 1968 at some point
Hold on. Oh
because we.
wait, nope. I found it. I guess apparently I renamed it,
Oh, okay.
but it really doesn't have anything on it. It looks like most of my last junior year portfolio submissions. It is Busy Bee Bry Creations, apparently.
Busy Bee Bry, SBRY, right?
Yep. Yep, BRY.
Creations.
And actually
Guys,
my Auburn Hepburn is on there.
ooh, guys, go look at it. Go check it out. Comment wherever you're listening. Comment how awesome it is. I haven't seen it yet, but I know it is. So do a thing. That's so cool. That like, and do you talk about this on your streams? Like that you've been an artist.
Not really. It does come up every now and then because I actually have this thing called a sub wall where I have like little decals and I put people's names on it. And every like month, like they continue a resub or if they're gifted a sub, I put like a little gold sticker on it. But their decals, you can pick from like the ones that I purchased, or I can actually make like a custom one. So I've made a few like lilies. I've made a Pikachu covered in daisies. But there's a few that I've made. It's not really one that people redeem often. I do offer the option if you want a custom one because I do mail it out to them after 12 months. They end up getting it in the mail. So, yeah.
Wow,
That's really the only way that it comes up.
that's really cool. All right. Um. Now, Tinkerbell.
Mhm.
Okay, I can see it, but why Tink? Why did they say Tink?
She's my sassy babe.
Yeah.
I am a honestly, I am an exact carbon copy of my mother.
Really?
I am like if you put like a picture of me and her next to each other, like you have no idea.
Oh wow.
So,
That's
so I
cool.
am a absolutely, and she loves Tinkerbell. So growing up, just her, my dad, even my grandparents on my dad's side, like they bought me a lot of Tinkerbell things. My very first Halloween, I was Tinkerbell, and for a while we kind of connected it to the sassiness of her and Peter Pan. But then when Tinkerbell actually came out, like the actual Tinkerbell standalone movie, when you learn a
Yeah.
little bit more about her,
Yeah.
my dad was like, "This is exactly you, because you're that person like you go, you're trying to find your way, but sometimes you don't like what immediately clicks for you, and you want to do something else because you're more interested in it.
Yeah.
But then you end up accepting like your fate and like what you're destined to do, and then you blossom in it." So
Oh, your dad sounds
yeah,
so freaking wise.
my dad is definitely like the. I kind of want to say he's my rock. He really
Yeah?
is. If I'm ever having issues, like I know that my dad, he's not like the judgmental one. He's more of like the, okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What do you think? How are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? Like what's going on? Like he's so unconditionally supportive. I'm so lucky in that dad area.
Yeah.
Um, absolutely.
That
He's a great guy.
shout out to Mr. Busy Bee. Papa Busy Bee. There you
Yeah.
go. Papa B. Papa B.
Yeah.
Papa B. Papa B.
Papa Bee.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay, and which Alice? Alice animated Alice or Alice I like live action Alice?
I've definitely been told both. But
Yeah.
growing up again, I've dressed up as a little Alice, and my grandmother is actually like the one who was like, "You're Alice," because I love having little tea parties. But when I was little, I did not like tea, so I always had cocoa in my teacup.
Oh, that's
But
great.
yeah, she would throw me like the most sweetest, sincerest little tea parties, and I would sit there and make little sandwiches with her, and we painted tea sets together. She was such a
Oh,
gem.
oh, that's so
But
good.
she was like, "You're always so curious about life, but you love colors." And she's like, "If you could make the world the way that you imagine it, imagine how beautiful it would be." And she would just go on. She's like, "It would be so stunning to see everything in your eyes." And she was just, she is definitely why I am the creative person and like the
How do you
colorful
have the
person I
most
am.
supportive family on the planet?
A whale.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, she was just the absolute sunshine for sure. She was just
Oh,
great.
that's amazing. I I I wish for everyone to have the support that you have. Bree, seriously, like I can tell when I watch you stream and how supportive you are of other folks. Um, I've been in the past. I mean, this is ages ago. When I first started streaming or watching streamers, I've had the natural ability to know whether they were genuine, or at least get a good vibe whether they're being genuine or not in their statements. Whether it be, "Oh, I love you guys," or whether it be, "Oh, I want everybody to feel supported," blah blah blah. Whatever people were saying, I have a knack for telling when people genuinely mean that. And maybe it's me that thinks I have a knack for it, and I just everybody has that. But when I am in your streams and I hear you talking to people and I hear you giving encouragement and advice, and when you give your impromptu TED talks, uh, I I see it being genuine, um, and now I know where that comes from. Like, can you think of moments when, like, maybe your brothers, which you said you have two older brothers, and we know how siblings are,
Oh yeah.
but they
Oh
were
yeah.
even though they would, they were big brothers. That's how they are. But can you think of moments when your brothers were like, "Yeah, you know what? We got your back."
Um, there's a huge gap between me and my brothers, so we
Yeah,
never really quite see eye to eye.
yeah.
I do have an older brother, and he just kind of likes to dad me, and I'm just like, "Can you please stop?" I'm like, I need you to tone it down a little bit. Like, I love you and I appreciate you, but no, you're not
Yeah.
doing the right thing right now." But
Well,
I mean, my brothers, they show up when they can, and I really do love them for that. I mean, I
yeah,
know everyone's human, we all got our own thing going on, but I've never actually heard my brothers like be negative towards me in a way that's like, "I'm gonna crush your dreams." Like
yeah,
they would never.
yeah,
'Cause like I said, we're all human, and I the one thing about my family is that we're crazy, we're loud. I have a huge family, but at the end of the day, we show up for each other,
yeah,
and that's the best part about family is showing up for each other.
yeah,
And I think that's also kind of why the way I am, because I know I have a huge family, and like I said, we're loud, we're crazy, but we show up for each other. I know that there are so many people out there who just don't have that that strength, that bond, and I want to be that person who like you need something, you talk to me, you let me know, we will figure it out.
mm,
Like even if I don't know anything about it, I'm gonna research it with you. We will figure it out. I
yeah,
will be that rock. So I think that's honestly another reason why I am the way that I am, because I want people to know that there is someone out there who cares about you and wants you to do what you want to do.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. and I like I said, I see that, I feel that, I hear that when I'm in your streams. Just definitely having this conversation. You know, yeah, what what kind of advice would you give to someone that's starting out? You know, that maybe they're starting out streaming. They you know they have the tech, right? Tech is easy. You can buy tech.
Yeah.
Um, what skills would you say they need to develop as a streamer if they want to follow the model like you are and be where it's not just an entertainment thing, it is a support thing, it's a community thing, it's a chosen family thing. What kind of advice would you give for them?
I would honestly definitely say it does depend on the vibe that you want to put out. Because I know that you say like it's the supportive like family thing.
Yeah,
I know that everyone still has their own little razzle dazzle to bring to the table
yeah.
though. So it depends on the type of vibe that you want to put out. I mean, for me, I'm a bee. I like gardens. I love flowers and everything in a garden. So it's that warmth of a garden. I want to feel like when you
Mm,
walk into my stream, you can feel that sunshine like hit your face and you can smell the roses, you can smell the flowers and the lavender that's growing in the garden. But it just depends on the vibe that you want to put out there. But I feel like as for skill set, you gotta be able and willing to like talk to people. Because when I first started, I have a wonderful mod who's been with me since like day one. And she'll tell you that my very first stream, I was so quiet, I was so timid, and I struggled. And it took me a while to actually like step out of my comfort zone because at first when you're beginning, it is a little nerve-wracking to just kind of sit and talk to your screen, to your camera, but you have to remember like there are people, there are human beings on the other side of that screen who are living their life and like
yes.
they want to talk to you. Like, and honestly, they want to get to know you, and you have to be able to want to get to know them. That's my favorite part
Mm,
about streaming is just getting to know everyone who is on the other side of the camera, on the other side of the screen, the monitor, phone
yeah,
screen, whatever it is. And it's a beautiful thing, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there in a position that kind of makes you vulnerable in a way.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, so like it's just you have to be willing to share for people to be willing to share back with you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's that's a good point. Um, a lot of I feel like there are entertainer streamers, there are educational streamers, and
Mhm.
then there are motivational um community type streamers, for lack of a
Mhm.
better way of saying that. And I I want to be I like to be a combination of all, which for me is just a natural thing. The entertainer piece is a natural thing for me. Um, and sometimes I have to tone that back. If I because if I want to be there for others, I have to do one of the three things that I learned in clown college that has stuck with me my whole life. All right, our dean, Steve Smith from Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Clown College, he said something that I have lived my life by, and it has helped me keep my entertainer's ego, I guess is a good way to say it. Some might say narcissism, but to keep that ego in check. As an entertainer, you need to know how to take the stage, how to give the stage, and how to share the stage. And I have lived my life that way. I have started, I shouldn't say started, but after, because this was ages ago, I'm freaking old. But when I heard that, that's how I started to live my life. Was there's those three things. All right, the people around me need to be me to be the lead. Okay, great. I'm stepping up. There or in a moment where there are people that are better than me at a thing, and I know it. I need to step back and let them let. Oh my gosh, I was just about to say it. Amanda, if you are listening to this podcast, I'm gonna say it. Let them flourish.
Oh, goodness. I love that.
All right, so I think I just hit the mic. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't edit. You know this. Um, uh, the I run a youth ministry, a geeky youth ministry called God Games and Geekery. And at this festival we've been at for the past 5 years, we run an arcade. Um, but last year, previously to that, I was the lead for the photography and video area. Since then, I've had a new director, my buddy Alex. I am Balmer. If you're ever in the stream, I am Balmer. He's my director of photo and video. And then I was like, okay, great. You're taking over that. I can develop G3. Well, last year I got the opportunity to be the on-stage host for the main stage. And this is the largest festival of its type. Sorry. Actually, no, I didn't say the name, so I can say it. It is the largest festival of its type, at least in the U.S., possibly in the world. Um, and I got to be the the host for the main stage, which meant that I was not at the geeky thing as much as I needed to be. So I have my friend Amanda, who was running it, and my boss. I have the best boss on the planet. Lucas is the best boss on the planet. I promise you. He is not just a boss; he's an amazing leader. He said, "Lem, if you got hit by a bus today, would that ministry still work?" It's like, it would work. So you have to have somebody to run it, right? Like, yeah, let them flourish. God darn it, Lucas! But I'm gonna be freaking out, right? Well, I promise you, nothing is gonna happen there that's gonna take down the overall what this whole festival is about. I promise you. And it's like, you're not wrong. So I told Amanda as we met before we started the festival, I said, okay, you got to remember to remind me to let you flourish. And that's right there. That's let, when to give the stage. I have to give the stage. And then sharing the stage. I think that's what we're doing in our streams is we're sharing the stage. We're listening to the stories. We're listening to the highs and the lows of the streams, and you do a great job of that. And I keep saying it, but I want to make sure you understand how much I'm impressed by what you're doing. And there's a vibe, there's a feel. No matter what you're playing, Disney's Dreamlight Valley, guys. You probably noticed there is a theme with a few guests that we have going on here. That's how I've met the last. Okay, at this point it would be three. Yeah, the last three guests that have been on is through Disney Dreamlight Valley. I find that that's what we've got going on in these communities. Whether it be like I come in and I see you stream Disney Dreamlight Valley, and then I come in and I see you doing Bee Simulator, and you're doing something else later today. Like at complete opposites of all of, like, they're not complete opposites, but they are very different. You have this cohesive thing that's going on. It's a brand, and I need to know for my own sake. This is a little selfish of me. How did you cement your brand? Let's talk about your brand. Tell me about it, and then talk about how you've decided to keep it going.
Oh my goodness. My brand. My brand. I've never heard somebody like refer to it as that. I mean, I feel like I'm a weird streamer. To me, I'm a weird streamer. I don't I listened to your podcast the other day, like with Lauren, and I relate to her on such a level of like I don't really like being in the spotlight. And I just when it comes to like the community that I've tried to structure and I've tried to build, I have a problem with saying like my community. 'Cause no, it's not my community. It's our community. It's what we're making it.
Right.
So I feel like I got so lucky finding like the beautiful people that are already within the Disney Giant Valley community. And when it comes to Disney Giant Valley, you learn very quickly that a lot of the players don't just play Disney Giant Valley, but we love other like cozy, chaotic games, and that's kind of what I refer to it as. Is
Yeah.
just it's our cozy chaos.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, so like the other games that we do play, it's just Hogwarts Legacy, cozy chaos. It can be awesome building in your vivarium and being with the creatures, but then also you have like the battles with like the goblins and the spiders and all the scary things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just there's a balance of it, and I feel like with Disney Giant Valley, it's a beautiful game. I love it. I love creating in it. But I feel like you also have to branch out into other games every now and then so that way you don't burn yourself out. I
Yeah.
feel like burnout for playing one game every single day is just it's easy to get the burnout. But with the comfortability of being able to do that, I wouldn't be able to do that without the community that's been structured and been built. I feel like I'm very transparent with everybody.
Yeah.
I will never hide behind a wall or behind a door. I am very transparent. I'm a very open book, and I would like to continue that for sure. I don't think I'll never change that. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like a change or anything, I'm very vocal with the people in my community like, "Hey, we're going to be doing this. We're going to start doing this. I feel like this would be a great way to implement like more community strength. I care about what you want to see. I care about what you want to say, and I'm very big on taking that into consideration. So like we have every Friday, I do stream every Friday, and I announce that in my Discord. But then I also post a poll because I do always stream on Sundays for a very very long time. So I let everybody vote on what we're going to be playing
Yeah.
on Sunday. And that's kind of like another thing that I love to do because it lets them have a voice in what they want to see on the channel.
Mm.
So I feel like part of my brand is just caring about what you want to see, what you want to be part of. I don't I don't want to just like I'm behind the reins, but I don't want to be like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Like I know that you want to do that, but we're not doing that. I don't It's just not who I am.
Yeah.
You want to play Hello Kitty Adventure Island? Let's go do it. I care about what everybody else wants to be part of, and I want to make sure that we're including ourselves in that in the
Yeah.
community that is the garden, because that's what it's called. It's called the garden. Um, I don't know. I like to try to keep things bright and light and make sure everyone is as involved as possible. And recently, this has kind of been like a nod, like, or something that I do. I'm very observant when it comes to the community. Even when you think I'm not watching, I'm probably watching. So sometimes every now and then somebody will like they'll take like a little social media break or they'll take a break from Twitch, but like I'll take notice of it and I'll take note in my head and like, okay, after 2 weeks, okay, 3 weeks, I start to get like a little worried.
Yes.
If I have your Discord, I am reaching out to you just to make sure you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is definitely something that like I feel like is also just part of what is me, what I'm trying to make when it comes to a community.
So, okay. So, slight tangent, but not too much. You take
Mhm.
mental note and then check in. Um, Also in the ADHD club, uh, we have 80 of them. Um, h- how do you remember to do that when the person isn't in your face?
Well, if someone goes from super chatty one day and then like the next day they're not there, I actually like I will write it down.
Okay,
I
yeah.
I
Well, that.
I
But
will yeah. I will for sure write it down. It's just something that I will immediately notice and I'm just like
yeah,
I really hope that they're okay.
yeah. Oh man, because like
If
I have people in my life that know. Like I tell them, if you don't hear from me, I need you to send me a hi. Just you don't have to write a letter. All you gotta do is say hi, and then every question that has been building in the back of my head because you were not right in front of me is going to come out and we're going to have a whole freaking conversation.
I love that. I love
Oh.
that. I feel like for the way my brain's just weird. But like when it comes to me actually doing things and even saying things, I'm so sorry. I probably go off on things you're not really asking about.
Oh no, 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 no. This is good. This is
But
good.
but I definitely feel like part of my brain when it comes to like things that I'm actually doing and like what I'm saying or what I need to be doing, it's just the ADHD peaks. It
Yeah.
shines. It flourishes there, Amanda. It flourishes. But when it comes to people that I care about and I've like created a bond with,
Yeah.
that's not going anywhere. I really like I hyper focus on people and like
There it
how they
is.
feel, how they're doing and their emotions. That's just the way that my brain is. It's like split into two basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. I you talked about community strength. What do you mean by community strength?
Which is such a giant platform, right? And it has so many different diverse communities and I feel like I'm slowly learning this and I kind of hate that I'm learning this. I'm learning a lot of communities are smoke screens.
Mm.
I really hate the fact that like if anybody else has had to experience it, but like you're in a community and you love being part of it, and then a bump comes up in the road and you're like, "Oh no, it's fine. Like I'm sure like it's just like trivial, like it's just whatever." But then another bump comes up and you're like, "Hmm, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I need to be a little bit more cautious and see like what's actually going on in the community." And then you see another bump come up and you're just like, "Okay. Once is um once is okay, twice is worrying, but three, you're not really like what you're trying to implement, what you're staging that you're trying to implement."
Right.
And then you start seeing like these people start losing more community members or either growing more and then they're seeing those bumps in the road and then they're losing those community members.
Yeah.
So I'm like I said, I'm very transparent and I'm very vocal. So I want to make sure that everybody who is part of the community that like we're trying to build and we're trying to grow, you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
I am definitely not a fake it till you make it. I always used to say, I am not a sugar factory. My mama is not a sugar factory. She didn't make nothing sweet. I can be very, very sweet and I am very, very loving, but I'm also very, very real.
Yeah.
So when it comes to community strength, I want to make sure that everybody knows that you are just as important as the next person.
Yeah.
No one is above anybody else. Nobody is more important as anybody else. This includes me because I feel like a lot of the people who hang out in my channel and they like praises are nice, but also like my value isn't any more than yours.
Mm.
We are all
Exactly.
human beings and we're all beautiful people just trying to make it through the next day, making the next day the best it can be. Like nobody is worth more than other people. And I feel like honestly it's sad, but so many other communities lose sight of that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean by community strength is that I just want to make sure that everybody knows how important they are and how valuable they are and just that they matter.
Mm.
And I feel like that's one of the best things is when you're in a community and you can be seen and you know that you're heard and you know that you're valued. I feel like it's very empowering. And unfortunately, it's also very rare on
Mm.
Twitch.
Is it?
So, it's,
Because
like I said, it's the smoke screen.
because
It's that smoke screen.
because honestly, like when I look at like your community, which I've not been a part of for very long, but again, I feel like I'm a decent judge. Um, when I look at your community, when I look at my friend Ed Placencia's community, which I've known Ed for years now, Darth Kryptonite's community, his community, um, which I'm part of, I've been part of his community since before we were both on Twitch. We've known each other 20 years. It's it's that, and so I maybe it's the fact that I'm surrounding myself with people that are better than me at these things, or at least I can they have the same vision. Because like I see you, and I think it's so cool that you call us, and I'm going to say it us because as a part of your community, um, I love it that you call us the garden, and you are busy Bee Bry. You are the it's a symbiotic relationship. We are there for you so that you can help pollinate, let's say, Gira, right? Let's say Gira shows up, and Gira Mama shows up, and she needs something that day. She needs a little extra love that day. And then 2 weeks from now, Gira shows up in my stream and sees that I'm not 100%, and she gives me a little extra because that's like cross pollination. But that stemmed from our busy Bee Bry, and I just love that that's what that is. That's so cool, man. All
I
right,
definitely, yeah, yeah. There are definitely some amazing communities out there, but like, I maybe it's just my experience. Well, no, because I've talked to many other people like within the community, and like we all have our own experiences, but I feel like it's the genuineness.
yeah.
Some yeah, it's the genuineness, like you've said. So like there really are some amazing communities out there, but there are also some really amazing communities who are also just like really great at putting up a smokescreen, unfortunately.
How can
Unfortunately.
how can we? I guess this is a two-parter. How can we, as community leaders, continue to make sure that there is not a smokescreen? Because there's certain like levels, right, of
Mhm.
openness. Like everybody has seen my wife's face on stream, right? I shouldn't say everybody, but regulars know what she looks like. Um, and but they don't know her name. They just know her as anti gamer. There are the people that are in the streams that are either related to me or have known me for so many years that know her real name, right? But they just know her as anti gamer. Um, how open do we need to be to make sure that that positive cross pollination continues to happen?
I feel like the best way as creators and as streamers to make sure that like we don't end up creating one, even if you're making it and you don't realize that you're making it, I feel like the best way to just prevent it altogether is to remember why you started doing this in the first place.
Mm, okay.
Remember who you are, why you started,
Oh, you just
and
Mufasa'd us. Okay.
I just need everybody to realize, all creators to realize like why you do what you do. It's just I feel like it's very easy to get caught up in what you're doing, and I feel like it's very easy to be like to get big-headed is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get big-headed, and I just can't see myself being that type of person.
Yeah.
And I just I that's the best way is to not put up a smokescreen is to realize that everyone is just as important as you are.
Yeah. I have the majority of my mods um, are very open with me. Like, as to the point, Lem, that was dumb. Don't do that again. What were you thinking?
Hmm.
Yeah, my mods are really good at that, and I really appreciate that of them. But what can we as community members do to help keep that smokescreen thing from happening?
I honestly, when it comes to it, I don't really think it's the community members that really cause it. But I mean, when it comes to the community members who are in those smoke screens and get caught up into it, remember that you are your own person.
Mm,
Remember that you do what is best for you. Do not end up being like falling in the line of someone just because like you idolize them. I feel like there's a fine line between idolizing with like positivity and then like borderline like obsessing.
mm,
There's
right,
a
right.
there is a there's a fine, dangerous line there. And I feel like at the end of the day, like as a community member, be your own person. Do
Yeah.
what makes you happy. Do what is best for you and for your mental health and your emotional stability. But like, don't fall in line. And I also, another thing that I like for bigger streamers, and I've talked about this on my stream a little bit, which kind of like, it kind of irks me a little bit, is just that streamers are not the biggest thing in the world. Like
Uh-uh.
what we say isn't law.
Uh-uh.
Just because one streamer is like, this is gonna happen, does not mean this is gonna happen.
Mm.
You know, like nobody, especially when it comes to Disney Dreamlight Valley, I'll go to here for a little bit.
Yeah.
When it goes to Disney Dreamlight Valley, a lot of streamers like we sit here and we theorize.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's theories.
Yeah.
It's what we think is gonna happen. Nobody knows except for Gameloft.
Point.
And I feel like a lot of people do forget that, is that nobody knows. So when somebody comes in and they're like, well, this isn't going to happen, you're wrong because this other person said it. That's really cool. I'm really glad that like they really think that and like they have that output, but like this is just what I think. And I think that's okay too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean by that, is that it's wonderful to support each other and to like uplift each other, but I also feel like we have to be careful of that fine line and remember like who we are. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I feel like I
Absolutely.
jumbled there.
No. I see it. It's how can we, like, if we absolutely love a streamer, right? Let's say my buddy
Mhm.
Fate Walker. He does the group podcast with me, Fate, and Panda and Surf. I love Fate Walker. Absolutely love him. I love how he does his content. I love how he's also one of those pollination guys, right? He's a
Yeah.
pollinator. He's so good. um, and like I take a lot of what he says to heart.
Mhm.
Um, but when we play, let's say Wuthering Waves. Let's take Wuthering Waves for instance. He was just playing it earlier. When he plays Wuthering Waves and he gives me advice on what to do, sometimes I take it and other times I don't. Now, granted, he's way better at the game than I am. Right? Way better at this game than I am. But the reasons I don't are for the same reasons that you gave, because I'm being true to myself. There are certain characters in that game that are so very powerful. They're amazingly powerful, and I was excited to get one of them, and then I started playing them, and I'm like, that character is not the type of vibe I want in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The content
Absolutely.
that they have is not who I want to. I want to see on my screen, whether it be my phone screen, my TV screen, whatever. I don't want to see that in my life. So I don't use that character. And he is so good at her. And he might continue suggesting that I use that character. But I don't. And I think that is what we're talking about here, is understanding that a streamer's perspective works super well for their life. And
Mhm.
it might work in the similar places in your life. But weigh it against where you are in there. And that's just game wise, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
That's game wise. So,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Oh, Bree, this is so cool. I do like seriously, like just like with Lauren, I met Lauren maybe 4 months ago, and immediately just fell in love with the community. Love the streamer, love the community,
Absolutely.
right? And then Cozy Valkyrie and Lauren suggested you at one point to me, and I was like, okay, well, I'll go check them out. I'm not usually the guy that goes out and checks out new streamers. I find the people I like, and that's
And stick with
that's
those.
where I am, right? But I'm like, then I remember a a pond that doesn't change becomes stagnant, and I hate mosquitoes. So um, I don't want to have a blood sucking swarm in my community. So that's why I make sure I change stuff up. I want to make sure that I meet new people, and then when I do, I meet people like Bree, and here we are, right?
Yeah.
How do you? Because like we as streamers, um, we we have. I personally think it's just me again. My how I'm feeling it. We have a responsibility of handing our like when we raid or make suggestions. We're handing our people, our kids, our family over to someone else to take care of. How do you determine whether another streamer fits well with your brand? Like, what are you looking for?
So usually, honestly, when it comes to like every now and then when I raid out to somebody, I'm looking at community members who I've met through honestly other people's chats.
Mm.
So just for an example, I was hanging out in Glitch Games. He's a really kind friend. He's on the same stream team that I'm on from Slev Show, because we're on Slev Show's stream team. But I was hanging out in one of his chats the other day, well, really the other month, and he was playing Enshrouded, which is his like new obsession. It's what his vibe is now. And he had this community member in there called Buds of the Round Table, and he was just like blowing up chat with me, talking to me, and he was like, "Actually, I'm about to get married," and I was like, "That's so cool," because so am I. Because at the time, this was before my wedding, and he mentioned something about streaming, and I was like, "What?" So I dropped him a follow, and I hung out with him in a stream because it's a Buds of the Round Table. It's actually two buds playing video games,
Oh, nice.
and I ended up hanging out with them for like 20 minutes. So the next time I streamed and I saw that they were live and I was about to raid out, I was like, you know what? They've got just like great energy
Yeah.
because they're just that. I really like the hype, loud energy people who like they know how to keep your day going. I love the courageous, not courageous, like the infectious laugh that like just makes you smile. Like you have such a great laugh, Lem.
Oh
Like
my
you really
gosh.
do.
Oh, thank you.
It you, Lauren, freaking Slev, you guys just have freaking infectious, like amazing energy that
Slev's
just
energy
makes
is
the day keep going.
crazy.
It's on crack. Like what is
I
like what is that?
I
Where do you get it?
Lauren suggested Slev, and I was following him apparently, but I'd never been into a stream. The other day I went to
Amazing.
one. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm awake now."
Amazing. The vibes are just amazing.
Yeah.
Like I that's what I like. And I also have a dear friend that I met like my very first day streaming. And for me, like my first day streaming was kind of like cuz you're new, you got to start
Yeah.
somewhere. But I rated out to Miss Mogo, and again, she's just like another loud, wonderful, but like genuine human being who
Yeah.
just makes your day better cuz she's so real with you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like finding new friends, I'm looking at the vibes that you're putting out. Are you reading chat? Are you actually talking and interacting with your chat?
Yeah.
Are you like actually playing your game?
Yeah.
Um, are you like what are the type of vibe that you're putting out? Like I'll stare at the screen if I see some person who's using like a really colorful VTuber even or just like really colorful like lights or just even like a mellow cozy vibe, like are you entertaining? Are you entertaining other people or are you doing it for like the sake of you? And from there it just goes to are you paying attention to chat? Are you actually talking a little bit about yourself? Are you talking a little bit about the game? Are you trying to be informative? It depends on the type of vibe that you're putting out there
Yeah.
cuz I like the type of people who are going to make you laugh. They're going to make your day a little bit better. Those are the type of people that I love. So
Same.
if I see someone who's doing that compared to someone who may be like dual streaming on maybe like TikTok and YouTube and they're not really reading chat and they're just kind of doing their own thing, like that's really nice, but it doesn't feel like you're included and you're part
Right.
of the community that they're
Yeah.
trying to build.
Okay. That's good advice. That's really good advice. I'm gonna have to take that more. Like today, today was my first day rating out to Slev. We have adjacent vibes. We have adjacent vibes. So I was like, okay,
You have
I'm gonna do it. I was in a stream the other day, and he was building the 100 acre woods, and then I chatted with him a little bit. And Lawrence is like, "That's not 100 acres. That's 300 acres, Chief." He's doing that, and I saw he was on today, so I rated out to him. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. He was talking, doing kind of what we are doing, but with the stream team, and I thought that was
yeah.
fantastic. That was just so good. Just get so everybody gets to know the stream team, not just
Yeah.
as a streamer, but as a human. Um, if someone wanted to uh, know what your perfect vibes were for you to watch and for you to be, like, if you could combine your vibes with what you like to watch, which are similar, but not exactly. I think you're a little bit mellower than let's say Slev or
Hmm.
um uh I think her name is Olivia Cozy something, or Olivia's Cozy.
Olivia Cozy Dreamer.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, she's got the caffeine going, bro. Uh like, I think that you're a little, you still have energy, but you're mellower than that. Can you give me two people that our listeners should be checking out?
Ooh. People, I'm gonna name people that we probably haven't mentioned. Because we've mentioned some really amazing, great
Yeah.
streamers. Oh my goodness gracious. I actually have a friend that's like kind of up and coming. I've known them since middle school and they're doing their very best trying to get their way onto the Twitch world and they're
Yeah.
brand new, but they're an absolute sweetheart. But I'm gonna say Cammy Kills. Cammy Kills is an absolute sweetheart.
Cammy
And like I said,
Kills.
they're up and coming. Yeah, they're a variety streamer. They do play your favorite game, Marvel Rivals. They do play Dizzy Joy Valley. They actually are now obsessed with Infinity Nikki because I popped in there and I was like, "Have you heard of Infinity Nikki?" And they were like, "No." And I was like,
Oh
"It's
no.
free." I was like,
Oh
"It's
no.
free."
That's what
So
the
they
drug dealers say.
yep, yep. He immediately downloaded it and started playing on stream, and now it's just what they've been playing every day for the past week. Also, I do have another friend who is just an absolute vibe. And honestly, I feel like to kind of like make a comparison, I feel like he's a good mix of like you and me, Lem.
Okay.
He's very musical.
Yeah.
He actually does freestyles for like new friends that pop in. He's really
Oh,
sweet.
nice.
He plays more of like the, we'll say, chaotic game. He
Okay.
plays more of the chaotic game. But his name is Just Wolf Gaming and Wolf is WULF, but Just Wolf Gaming. Absolute sweetheart. Very, how would you say, he's just very creative and he
Yeah.
wants his community to like actually express their creativity. He does this really cool thing called Sample Flip Sunday, where the very last Sunday of the month they go through and they share their creations of like a theme that he posted earlier in the month, whether it's like you made a song, you made a rap, you made a painting, you made a poem.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it's really refreshing to see that type of like encouragement for creativity on a channel like that.
Yeah.
um
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, I feel like I really do appreciate those two communities. And of course, there are so many others that I could
Oh,
honestly
yeah.
list and mention for sure. But
Speaking of musical ability, I found out just yesterday that Bree can sing.
oh, oh.
Now, I'm not going to ask you to do it here because the best way to catch it, y'all, is on her stream when she doesn't know she's doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. She doesn't know she's doing it. She just starts singing. And I'm like, okay, so when are we getting the Christmas album?
My face is so red. Like I can feel the heat off my cheeks.
Oh man, Bree, we talked about that you stream. We talked about that you have content. Where can people find you?
I mainly do, of course, I stream on Twitch, Busy Bee Brie. I do post my content on YouTube now. I'm posting all my VODs on
Oh,
YouTube and all my
nice.
clips on YouTube. Instagram, I'm also Busy Bee Bry, but I'm Busy Bee Bry 02, because there is apparently another Busy Bee Bry. Um, and then I'm starting to release my own podcast.
Yeah, you are. I
Believe it
was
or
saying,
not.
girl, you better talk about it.
If I'm okay with that. Um, yeah, I am starting my own podcast called Honey Tea with Busy Bee Bry. And I'm actually actively like accepting applications if you want to be on the podcast, or if you have questions that you want answered on the podcast and you don't really want to be like on the podcast like that, there's also an application for that as well. Um, but yeah, and I'm kind of on Twitter, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, we are all kind of on Twitter.
Kinda.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Bree, thank you for this. This has been a great sit down. Guys, join me in following Bree. Um, Also, if you want to see more art, it's Busy Bee Bry, Bry Creations on Instagram. That she will definitely be posting to at some point in time again.
Oh
I
no.
don't know if she's doing that. I can't say that. But Bree,
We'll make time. We'll make time.
so I was playing a game today. Disney Infinity 3.0.
Oh no.
I'm putting it out here publicly. Bree owns this game now. My Disney Infinity people, y'all need to go to Busy Bee Bry on Twitch. Make sure that you follow. Make sure you engage in conversation. And in the middle of conversation, you say, Disney Infinity win?
It'll be on the next Sunday poll. It'll be up.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have everybody vote for that.
It'll be in the Discord. It'll be up. I'll put it up.
I'll be traveling that weekend, but I will. I definitely want to. I want you to experience it. Like the little bit that I showed you it's piddly. It is such a tiny part of what we do, and we spent like 2 hours in that. So.
I loved it when it came to like towards the end part and somebody had gifted you the 5 subs and you're like, now I have to play it blind, but I have to leave. We got to talk to Brie. I'm like, no, you're good. You can do this.
No, it's fine. Play blind.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. You got this. I believe in you.
Yeah, there's a few hidden things that we do in the stream, and that's one of them. It's becoming more known. More and more known. People are like, just if you're gonna gift, you save up till you can do 5. And you gotta wait for a game where he has to really look at the screen. So
Imagine Dreamlight Valley.
Dreamlight Valley, I can do that. I can kind of do that blind, sort of, maybe.
Oh.
No, I can't. I have to be super close to the screen. All right. Well, thank you, Bree. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And Bree, as they always say, what were we talking about?